This is SEIJIHITO. It is currently 1:19 p.m. on July 5th of 2023. Um, as I told you guys before, I'm going to try to go live a little bit more frequently, but more so, when I have something, important to realistically talk about um, that encompasses a lot of the content, or at least some of the content that I have done. And again, for any of those of you guys out there would like to um, donate directly to the platform, you can do that by way of the links provided in the video description. And you can also do that by way of the links that you see playing through the video as well. Hey, what is up, Zaire? What is up? What is up? Just in case if people don't know as well, we got the third channel here. We're currently at 505 subscribers at the moment in time. Got, a few videos directly up there. So you can, if you would like to subscribe to the Seji Zone as well, we're going to try to get that up to 1,000 and, see what we can do from there. Um, but the main thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about has to do with a subject that I've covered before. Um, really couldn't, in a sense, say the words due to the fact, YouTube likes to demonetize. But since, we are where we are at this moment in time, it realistically doesn't matter. But I wanted to make you guys aware of the fact that I recently did a video, and for whatever reason, YouTube decided to give a handy dandy error message, right? So I made a community post, to try to reach you guys a multitude of way, right? So I made a community post with the image to the right, which says stop, right? Human trafficking. And you see all the different, things that go on with that. And when I happened to go, back and forth on YouTube trying to look at the analytics for the video and different things of that nature, I get two errors, right? One error is the oops that you see directly there, which says something went wrong, right? Retry again, right? So it has a little dog with the plug. And then underneath where it says published videos, right? You see the last video I published, which is Blast from the Past / Just a Reminder, right? And the other video, technically, that really should be showing up there is the video that I just posted. So what that automatically says to me is that even though that this is a very important topic, this is a subject that um, people should be made aware of. Obviously, YouTube has a very unique problem with this topic. Now, I want to make people understand this is not a video to try um, to push, this subject in a positive way. This is not a thing to try to shine a positive spotlight or a positive spin. This is a very simple video dealing with the top 20 states in the United States who are dealing with this, who are hit the most um, when it deals with this, right? And my only main thing that I wanted to do, just like I've done with a lot of my videos, is that I want to inform people so that they will actually know and understand, right? I want people to be out there safe and armed with the information that might not be readily accessible, that you're not going to see a lot of people talk about. And obviously, this is the reason that a lot of people aren't going to talk about it, right? Because you got to go through these issues with YouTube. You got to see error messages. You got to worry about the notifications potentially going out. You got to worry about if it might potentially get seen. You got to worry about if YouTube is going to try to mark it as XYZ or all this other type of stuff, right? And the main thing that I want people to understand is that these are put out there in order to stop people from talking about very important issues. These things take place and happen in order to create a type of fear. so that information like this won't be present, right? So that people will remain ignorant, so that things like this can continuously keep happening because people aren't armed with the information that that their state might be in a hotspot directly for this, right? That potentially, if you are a woman or a child, that, there's a very likely chance that you may be trafficked or you might have some of these individuals out there looking directly at you, right? So this is why I've put out different videos on social media where you've had women trying to point out and give the information to women and other people that, hey, if you see this going on with your car, you need to sit up there and call the authorities. If you see a zip tie directly on your door or on your windshield wiper, you need not to sit up there and go to your car. You need to call somebody, right? If you see a napkin directly underneath the door handle, do not touch it, right? Because more than likely it has a chemical that has been doused in or covered in that will more than likely leave you unconscious, as quick as possible. If you happen to see, money or something underneath your windshield, such as, like a dollar or some type of folded flyer, it's probably best to not touch it, right? Like I said, it's better to be safe than sorry. And, again, I've done a lot of those videos and I've tried to inform a lot of people because, again, I've stated to people before that the things that I point out, these are the things that I would never want you or your families, to specifically have to face or, end up going through. And you have a lot of people out here that believe that just because the United States is a first world country, that we don't have things like this happening. And within that video, as you listen and go by state by state by state by state, you see how prevalent these problems and these issues are, and how readily accessible it is for a lot of these criminal circles, these human trafficking circles, have the utmost accessibility to the public, to you, to your children, to your family, right? So let me just highlight a few things here, right? And this is dealing with a few human trafficking, stats or what have you, right? Human trafficking can happen to people of all ages and genders and any race or religious background. Women are often used for sex exploitation, while men are usually while men are usually used for forced labor. It is believed that 1 in 5 human trafficking victims are children exploited for begging, videos, or child labor. According to the Bureau of Justice, of human trafficking cases reported between January of 2008 to June of 2010, trafficking victims were more likely to be white at 26% or black at 40%, compared to labor trafficking victims who are most likely to be Hispanic at 63% or Asian at 17%. Victims frequently do not seek help due to language barriers, fears of the traffickers, or fear of law enforcement. A common misconception about human trafficking is that it does not happen in the United States. This is false, as the United States is ranked as one of the worst countries globally for human trafficking. It is estimated that 199,000 incidences occur in the United States every year. In 2020, the United States had 8,839 human trafficking cases reported. The most common type of trafficking was sex trafficking, with the most common venues being illicit massage slash spa businesses or video. States with the highest human trafficking numbers. California consistently has the highest human trafficking rates in the United States, with 1,334 cases reported in 2020. This is followed by Texas with 987 cases, Florida with 738 cases, New York with 414 cases. These 4 states with the highest human trafficking rates have the highest population in the United States, which can explain why the number of cases are significantly higher than any other state and have very high immigrant populations. This, combined with certain industries such as agriculture, creates prime environments for forced labor. Looking at the rates per 100,000 people, Mississippi has the highest incidence rate at 6.31 per 100,000 persons. Other states and territories with the highest rates of human trafficking include Nevada at 5.99 per 100,000, Missouri at 4.34 per 100,000, and the District of Columbia at 4.14 per 100,000 persons. Rhode Island had both the lowest number of cases at 10 and the lowest rates based on population at 0.91 per 100,000 of human trafficking in 2020. And from the stacks, I'm sorry, not stacks, but from the state, I'm so mad right now. With the amount of stats that they have, these are the 10 states with the highest rates. And this is going by 2020, right? Mississippi at 6.38 per 100,000. Number two, District of Columbia at 6.08 per 100,000. Nevada at 5.8 per 100,000. Missouri, 4.32 per 100,000. Nebraska at 3.65 per 100,000. California at 3.43 per 100,000. Oregon at 3.29 per 100,000. Florida at 3.26 per 100,000. Texas with 3.24 per 100,000. And number 10, Arkansas with 3.23 per 100,000. So, uh, again, my main thing is that, regardless on, however it is that people, view me, the content, opinions, whatever it is, I do my best to, hopefully educate people and to uh, try to make people aware of things that are taking place, either, in their city, their state, both. Um, Maybe even a vacation hotspot that they may frequent, every, now and again. But obviously, there are certain things at work where, this information, I guess, should not be presented to people, where it is that they don't want people to specifically know about these things. And I want people to understand this. Um, Pretty much all three of my channels, I've made sure to mark those channels as, not for kids, right? And because I cover a variety of topics directly on there that deal with adults, right? I deal with certain topics up there that, maybe, it is up for a parent to have, those conversations, with their child or their family or what have you. So, I don't really try to, do some type of switcheroo, clickbait, and, all these types of things to try to, get people in there and, and all these other types of things. Like I said, I don't know. Like I told you guys before, everything is an uphill battle. Um, this is why I've, tried to present everything that happens to this channel directly to you guys, regardless of people wanting to say, "Oh, you're just crying, you're just this, you're just that." Nah. Like I said, people need to be made aware of what happens with these social media platforms when you want to talk about subjects that are very important. This is why I've done quite a few videos on both platforms that dealt with Disney World being a part of the sting operations, catching individuals that were in, meaning workers, or around Disney World that were specifically seeking children or that might had to do with trafficking human beings. Because again, a lot of the states in which are covered in the video that I put out to you guys recently around like 12:20, 12:30, or whatever it was. It'll tell you about a lot of those city hotspots. They stated that Las Vegas is one of those hotspots as well, and it's going to get even larger, because from what they inserted in that article is the fact that Las Vegas in 2024, I think, is going to host the Super Bowl or some type of large event, which is going to bring a lot of people there. People are going to make that a go-to travel, destination, even though you already have people traveling there. There's going to be more people not just coming from within the US to there, but people from outside of the US coming there. And, I specifically put these videos out there to let a lot of women out there know, because you do have a lot of women out there that are part of a certain industry, and they don't have any type of protections, right? They don't really have anybody, looking out, specifically for them, or trying to inform people of what it is that they have to face or go through every single day. This is why I've had quite a few videos out there when it dealt with adult workers, and what it is that they decide to do, and how it is that they decide to make money. Um, Again, I don't want people to be fooled. And I especially don't want any men out here to be fooled. Let me just reiterate again: any human being can be captured and thrown into human trafficking. That also includes you. It don't matter how big and strong you are; they will sit up there and make you work. They can find you, and they will find you. There have been people that have tried to escape directly, from these things, and somehow, some way, those people inevitably end up finding those individuals. So don't think just because you think you're the baddest out here, you think you're the man and all this. Don't be stupid and think that you can't be trafficked as well. Because like I said before, you got a lot of men out here who feel that can't nothing happen to them. And the world will tell you and show you something vastly different. So don't be foolish. Don't be stupid. And again, like I said, I don't know. Uh, I don't I don't really know what to tell people in certain instances, because things like this is hard to um, find the words, or to try to express certain things, because again, um, beyond a lot of the content that I do, some of the most important content is the content that you guys don't get a chance to see, right? YouTube will make sure to highlight certain content that will, you know, lack of a better word, it'll keep people busy, right? It won't have people, focused on certain things. This is why I tell you guys again that, I try to do a variety of different videos, consisting and ranging on a variety of topics. But the only videos that I happen to really, get back and forth from, and people really wanting to run their mouths on, is anything dealing with the black community, right? If I speak negatively about the black community, everybody want to speak. If I speak negatively about black men, a certain segment want to speak. If I speak negatively on black women, a certain segment want to speak, right? But as I told you guys before, I'm all fine for debates and different things of that nature. But we're dealing with stuff here like this topic here, human trafficking. This can happen to anybody. You could be on your cell phone right now, out there in public, and you'll have a guy that is watching you, and you won't even know it. I'm talking about specifically for the women who have kids, or just the women in general. You could literally be out there in public right now, and there's somebody watching you. You don't even know it. You can go to the movies. You can, be out in front of your house. You could be going to Home Depot, and you'll have guys in cars radioing and talking to other guys that are inside. Be like, yeah, I just seen a woman and kids. There's no man in sight. They're walking directly through the front door. They're wearing these colors, these shoes, and she looks like this. Right? Take a quick picture, sit up there, upload it, and send it. And then as soon as you walk into that Home Depot, everything looks normal. But while everything looks normal, you'll have these guys directly on their phone looking back and forth, looking at the image of the picture, looking at the text message, and then going up and down every single aisle looking around. And then little by little, you start to notice, if you're paying attention, that these guys have been slowly tracking you through magically every single aisle. You've been going through the paint section. You've been going through the plumbing section. You've been going through the wood section. You've been looking through some blinds. You're looking for some stuff for the front of your house, maybe some lights or whatever it is. And these guys are continuously following you. They might not do nothing, might not say nothing, but they're watching you. And they're making sure to see if there's anybody that may be paying attention, or if there's potentially anybody else that you may know that may come around. And this is how they start to mark women. This is how they start to mark women with children. And they'll sit up there and do this for quite a little bit of time up until they start to know your routine. They know when you leave the house, when you come back, when you go to work, when you don't go to. Once they have all of these things in place, in order, they got you. It ain't nowhere that you can go. They know where you work. They know where you sleep. They know your friend's house, your family's house. They know your favorite restaurant. They know where it is that you just so happen to take your kids, where your kids go to school. So like I said before, I do my best to, try to inform and try to make people aware. There's quite a few videos that I wanted to post, but I wasn't sure if I could actually post those because, again, I'm not trying to have YouTube just drastically be like, oh, we're going to nuke this channel. Up, you're putting up these up. We're just going to sit up there and nuke the channel. And the whole other aspect with that is that you have individuals that sit silently in the background, knowing the fact that this is some of the main content that I put directly up there. And irregardless, they will be highly ecstatic to see the channel go. They will do everything in their power in order to flag every single video, even if it could potentially save somebody's life. Even if. So just think about that. You got people sitting in the background right now, watching this live stream, watching probably the video that I just put out, trying to figure out a way to sit up there and flag it. Trying to sit up there and still figure out a way to bring down this channel. And like I said before, and I'm telling y'all something that's very clear, you're not going to have a lot of channels talk about this subject. Again, it's not going to sit up there and bring in any type of money. Again, you try to bring awareness to something important, YouTube is not going to sit up there and push that video. Why? Because not even they can make money directly off of it. They're not going to put advertisers directly on it. They're not even going to sit up there and try, because there's certain topics that advertisers want to stay specifically away from, and human trafficking is one of those subjects. So again, YouTube is not going to push this video. The only way that this video could even potentially see the light of day is if people decide to actually share this video, so that, again, so that they can inform their family, inform their friends, inform their kids. Again, I'm not even trying to get nothing from this. The only thing, if anything, I'm trying to get from doing videos like this, where it deals with subjects of this nature, I just hope that it might, inform somebody. I hope that it may, save somebody's life. Because again, it gets to a point when you do these stories continuously that it does start to wear on you. And, it leaves you at a point where you don't specifically know what to do. It leaves you almost at a point of helplessness, because you know that you can't specifically take an action that is going to actively save somebody, right? I'm just a guy behind, a computer screen, putting together, some information that hopefully people will sit up there and listen to. That's the most that I can do. I can't go to every single household. I can't sit up there and talk to every single child out there to make them aware. I can't talk to every single teenager out there to make them aware. I can't talk to every single adult woman to make them aware. And the other thing that I try to make y'all aware of is the fact that, yeah, certain topics, again, I do sit up there and entertain because, that's the stuff that y'all just so happen to like to see. That's where y'all are at this moment in time. And I've stated before that I'm completely fine with walking with people, right? But at the same time, I'm still going to focus on the things that I need to focus on, right? And these are some of those things. These are some of those important, topics. Um, Again, there was a video that I did that dealt with missing children, hundreds of thousands of missing children. There was another video that I did before where it dealt with uh, I, my memory might be a little bit gone at the moment, but I want to say it should have been Ohio or Indiana. It was one of the 50 states, and they had 30 missing kids within the range of like a week or maybe two. One is already too many, but you have 30, and nobody knows specifically what happened to these kids or where are they at this moment in time. Like I said, those kids belong to somebody's family. And again, I've given you guys statistics on, kids who are runaways and different things of that nature. Again, a lot of what I feel are my most important videos don't really get the light of day. Um, a lot of the people that always want to try to have a debate with me, right, on some other type of topics, they never want to try to roll up and have a debate about human trafficking. They never want to try to have a debate about sex slavery. They would never want to try to have a debate about child exploitation, right? People want to have a debate about other things, but when it comes to things where it's a generalized topic that literally encompasses everybody, and very easily somebody in their family could be trafficked or are being tracked at this moment in time. Magically, I don't I don't see a lot of energy. And I've stated this a multitude of times, and I stated to people before, if you wanted to have a debate about some serious topics, then we could actually really do that. If you want to try to come up with solutions for those things, we can do it. Like human trafficking. How many of the guys that normally have a disagreement with me are going to try to come up with a plan or want to try to have this as a topic of conversation? Probably none. What about child exploitation? Probably none. What about the sex slavery that goes on in the United States with the missing children? Probably none of them want to touch that topic. But again, if I start making topics dealing with, excuse me, dealing with men and specifically what it is that they're doing, magically people want to be up in arms and people want to talk high and mighty. People want to magically have an opinion. But very easily, what I'm covering here could easily be your daughter, it could be your niece, it could be your nephew, it could be your grandchild. Very easily. And this is happening in every single community. So again, I'm not this is not something that is singling out men of a certain group. This is in a sense stating that there's a lack of protection in every single community, no matter what the ethnicity is, and that men of all of these communities are a part of these human trafficking rings, that are a part of these child exploitation rings. But I guess, since I'm not singling out and I'm not talking negative in a sense, people don't want to feel like they need to speak. you know, which lets me know how important the topic actually is. It's only as important as the subject matter, right? If I made this topic specifically about black men, I would more than likely have some of the usual suspects roll up and they might want to start trying to have an argument, maybe. But due to the fact that it's a generalized topic, I'm not specifically pointing them out. People are just like, whatever, which is quite hilarious. And again, I've stated before that human trafficking can happen to men as well. So I would actually think that some of the men who have piped up over the live streams that I've had recently, I would realistically expect you guys to have an opinion on this because you could actually be affected. Nothing is stopping you from being snatched up and knocked out. Somebody can easily overpower you by sitting up there putting a cloth directly over your mouth and nose while you're trying to fight them off. It's over. Lights out in probably about less than 10 seconds. And then what you gonna do? Nothing. Now you're being forced to do whatever it is that they tell you to do because they got all your information. They got your social security. They got your cell phone. They got your social media. They got the contact information to all of your family. So now they can sit up there and just basically threaten you. And you know that they're valid in what it is that they're stating because along with the threats, they can show you on computers. They can show you by text messages, your family members. They can show you the homes. They can show you them in person. But like I said before, a lot of the men who have decided that they wanted to pipe up on a lot of the previous conversations when I wanted to talk about Dr. Umar, when I wanted to talk about black men in the black community, when I wanted to talk about young black boys, when I wanted to talk about being a mentor and all those other types of things, nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. I'm looking directly through my comments and I'm not seeing nothing. Who we got here today? Shout out to Zaire, little KKTV. Shout out to Hack. What is up, brother? We got Mr. Rand in the building. What is up? What is up? Uh, we got Miss Israel in the building. What is going on? We got Mr. Ball. Uh, we got Miss Downey in the building. What is happening? We got Pink. I was going to say good morning, but good afternoon. Um, you got B1 First in the building. What is going on? Who else we got up in here? And that's it. And that's it. Like I said, I find it, very interesting. And this is when I stated to people before that people will select and choose. Now, it came to a point where I would talk about how YouTube is, stopping people, which I said earlier, YouTube stopping people and not trying to allow people to see certain videos, which is true. The also true thing as well, because two things can be true at the same time, is the fact that a lot of people will pick and choose the videos and the topics that they decide that they want to go in on. This is one of those topics where it's uneasy for a lot of people. Some people would rather ignore it. Some people would rather not look at it. And that's because they're not specifically facing or dealing with this. They don't have a family member that has gone through this or anything like that. But if they did, I promise you, they will be some of the main ones to start talking. But as I stated before, people don't really want to talk about things up until it's too late. People don't want to start stating things, up until it starts hitting their front door, right? One of the main comments that I was able to see, if I can get here as quickly as possible, as not to waste you guys' time. So in the video that I posted, if it can show it properly, the comments aren't even really showing up on my end technically. Um, we had what is it? Susan Neep. An hour ago, she stated, "We have a lot of human trafficking here in Hawaii. It's a major transfer area. I'm very surprised to not have Hawaii on this list, as Hawaii is a major transfer spot." It's not uncommon for the dock workers to find shipping containers with the often starving people being trafficked. Matter of fact, let me just highlight that just to let you guys understand how serious this is. Let me just highlight that real quick because I don't want y'all to feel like I'm making anything up. Let me show y'all this comment directly right there that somebody left on the video, right? This is what she just stated. Let me just pull that a little bit up so you guys can, see that, right? Just put that right there. And the funniest thing is when I originally looked at the information, Hawaii was nowhere up there. It wasn't even listed. So that also begs the question as how consistent is the information? Because, right, they can give you certain information, but that doesn't mean that they're giving you all of the information as proven by this comment. And another interesting thing is that I have a video of a dock worker who is explaining about trafficking, who is basically stating that, you have all of these, cargo, blocks, these containers, and he's looking around basically showing you hundreds, if not thousands of containers, and you won't specifically know what is actually inside of that container up until it's open. And just like Susan stated, it's not uncommon for the dock workers to find shipping containers with the often starving people being trafficked, right? So again, this is important information that people should know about. This is important information that people should realistically care about. Human trafficking is um, a profitable industry, as they stated. I'm trying to see if I can actually get a few of the numbers. I think wasn't it somewhere upwards to about nine, somewhere in the millions for the industry. Let me see here, and it's crazy to even call it an industry. It's crazy. Um, I want to say I think I might have had it specifically in the video uh, when it dealt with this, right? So let me just go over. Is this a little bit more recent? This is November 8th, right? So we got some other stats as well, and this is taken from the National Human Trafficking Hotline, right? Um, so the highlights that they have is that a total of 2,198 persons were referred to the United States attorneys for human trafficking offenses in fiscal year of 2020, a 62% increase from the 1,360 persons referred in 2011. The number of persons prosecuted for human trafficking increased from 729 in 2011 to 1,343 in 2020, an 84% increase. The number of persons convicted of a federal human trafficking offense increased from 2011, 464 persons, to 837 persons in 2019, before falling in 2020 to 658 persons. Of the 1,169 defendants charged in the United States District Court with human trafficking offenses in the fiscal year of 2020, 92% were male, 63% were white, 18% were black, 17% were Hispanic, 95% were United States citizens, and 66% had no prior convictions. At year end of 2020, for the 47 states that reported data, 1,564 persons were in the custody of a state prison serving a sentence for a human trafficking offense. So let me just reiterate that. Let me just reiterate that. What's up, K5? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? Pray, what is happening? What is happening? Uh, let me see. I'm going to call you Ack for right now because I don't want to butcher your name. We got Ack in the building. Said peace, keep up the good work, don't let others stop you. It's a work in progress. I can only control what is basically within my control to do. If YouTube decides that they want to, because of this video or whatever, they want to just, delete the channel, it's nothing I can do, right? Nothing I can, pretty much do. That's again directly outside of my control. The only thing I can do is just make videos in hopes that people will share these videos and inform, their families, their loved ones, their coworkers, and different things of that nature, um, of, the information, right? So, matter of fact, because I know every now and again, people want to, roll up to the scene. So let me just put these stats directly up there. So when I've done videos before and I've stated that in communities that communities lack the necessary protections for women and children, I've of course made sure to highlight the Black community, right? A community that I uh, am specifically part of and from. But I also did this to highlight the lack of protections in other communities as well. I'm just going to try to zoom in on this part right here. So 92 of the people that were charged with human trafficking, right? 95% were United States citizens. 66% had no prior convictions. 92% were male. 63% were white. 18% were black. 17% were Hispanic. So we got the white, black, and a Hispanic population out here trafficking persons, but more so specifically women and children from their own communities. So if I basically happen to state that you have a lack of protections in communities when it deals with women and children, please don't argue with me. You don't have grounds. You don't have grounds to argue with me. There is no point of you arguing with me unless you're trying to advocate realistically for human trafficking. Because let me just reiterate and make this very clear. If there were more men in every community protecting the women and the children, these stats wouldn't be what they are. Let me reiterate this one more time for the people in the back that might just catch this video late. If there were more men in the communities that protected women and children, these stats would not be what they are. So, like I said, the only thing that I can sit up there and do is inform people the best way possible. People who want to debate, people who want to argue, are again 9 times out of 10 people with no solutions. Because as I've listed before, when I've brought up these very important videos that deal with children, that deal with women, that deal with potentially even your daughters, magically those same people that like to move their mouth don't seem to show up for these live streams. They don't seem to show up for these videos. They always want to run their mouth. They always want to talk on different topics. They want to talk on the easy topics. Real easy topics. Right? So again, you guys have seen me do videos specifically pertaining about Black women. How many times have we seen men roll up directly to those videos and voice their opinions? Tons of times. I can even roll back and go through the comment section right now underneath both of my channels to basically showcase this. Real vocal, right? Going back and forth with people in the comment section. But then if I sit up there and showcase the content that I've done in the same vein of this, dealing with human trafficking, how many of those same men are trying to have an opinion? How many of them are trying to sit up there and debate? How many of them are trying to sit up there and say what's right and what's wrong? None, pretty much. Pretty much. And as I stated before, this is the problem with a lot of things, and especially with society. We've gotten to a point in time where important issues such as this, they're not going to receive a response. You're not going to see people on podcasts that are making all of this money, going back and forth, talking about men and women, women and men. You're not going to see them talking about these issues. Why? Because their main demographic don't care. They're not trying to hear this. This is too real. This is something that they don't know how to encompass this. They don't know how to quantify this. Things that a lot of people feel as though they really don't have any control over, they're not going to directly attack the situation. So again, a lot of the men that are more than likely sitting in the background right now, and I'm talking about you, that are sitting in the background on both channels, who normally want to have your mouth open, ready to talk about women this and women that, I would love it for y'all to actually roll up to the scene and start talking on this, because the stats don't lie. Let me just reiterate again. 95% of the men that are sex trafficking in the United States are United States citizens. 92% were male. 63 white. 18% black. 17% Hispanic. So again, for all of those men sitting directly in the background that normally want to sit up there and debate me on a topic, what do you have to say? Where are you at? Don't tell me that magically y'all at work now. Magically everybody got jobs. Magically everybody got more important shit to sit up there and worry about. Don't sit up there and tell me none of that bullshit. I don't want to hear it. Where y'all at? That's all I'm saying. Like I said, I had about on the old channel, I had about 50 people watching. No, I'm sorry. It dropped down to 40, 49 when it was just at 60. Like I said, you have a lot of people out here that want to sit in the background and they want to wait for a topic so that they can realistically speak on, because they really feel like they got a voice on something. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Again, to some of the women that's in the background sitting there waiting. Where y'all at to speak on this topic? This is a man pointing out the fact that there are lack of protections here. But also within these statistics, I don't want women to sit up there and get confused. They said that 92% were male. So that means the rest of that are females that are entrapping other women, which I've covered stories on. I've covered stories of women trapping other women, setting other women up. I've also done stories of women selling their daughters. So again, we have lack of protection from the men in the communities out here, and we also got a lack of protection from the women and the mothers out here in these communities. But again, how many of these platforms, case in point, you got platforms out here run by women who specifically are there to demonize men, talk about everything negative and all this. How many of them are going to sit up there and point out the fact that you got mothers, you got sisters, you got aunts, you got grandmothers out here selling their kids, selling their grandkids, ensnaring these kids, who are entrapping women into this human trafficking, into sex slavery? How many of those women are going to sit up there and highlight and talk about those issues? And again, like I told y'all before, I've watched a lot of people's channels I've watched lots of content, and I see the same type of repetitive content time and time and time again. It's a perpetual circle. It's a forever revolving door that never stops. Like I said, I get it. You talk about certain things because you know it's going to sit up there and get and make money. But at what point does the money matter when it is that you have people out here in a sense being sacrificed? Is the money really all that good? Like I said, irregardless of whatever it is that people got to sit up there and say about me, the one thing that do know for a fact is that I've covered pretty much everything that I could potentially cover that is important when it comes to trying to encompass humanity, when it's dealt with uh potentially various religions, when it's dealt with governments, when it's dealt with ethnicities, when it's dealt with, different things in history. Again, this is all I'm asking from people. When you go through and you start looking at the same old on YouTube from content creators, just ask yourself, how many content creators are willing to talk about these subjects that don't make money? How many are willing to talk about the subjects that are not going to pull tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of views? How many of them? Because some of y'all have basically stated before that people should just talk about the facts. People should talk about the things that's important. And at least here on this platform, that's what I've tried to do. Irregardless on me getting demonetized or what's sitting up there happening, videos getting stripped down from my platform, getting blocked, videos getting flagged, me not being able to post for about a week or two or three or whatever it is. That's the main thing that I've tried to sit up there and do, is get out the most important information to heighten the possibility of people's survival. And that's a generalization. I said people survival. Not talking about a specific demographic directly out here. People. Because the most interesting thing is that human trafficking can happen directly in front of your face and you won't even know it unless you actually know the signs. You could be walking through the park right now and you could walk past a child that just was human trafficked and you wouldn't even know it. Wouldn't even know it. And the reason why it is that you don't know it is because, again, these are not things that, this is not information that is pushed directly out there to the public. Just think about the news. How often do they really talk about human trafficking? How often do they really try to sit up there and inform you, right, about human trafficking, right? Let me just bring up something to you that happened, right? And again, I know specifically what it is that I stated, but this is the face that came directly up with the video. So just in case anybody wants to fight me over it, it is what it is. Because as I stated before, this is something that is very much important, right? So this is a just the image. You can go through and look up the story if you would like to, right? So this is what it stated. Massive human trafficking sting in the Coweta County Hotel leads to 30 arrests and 2 survivors are found. The sheriff's office rescued 2 survivors who were taken to a safe house. One of the females being brought and sold for sex was brought from Florida. So again, for anybody out there that cares to try to debate me on a lot of things, try to debate me on a topic that actually matters. try to debate me and try to have an issue with me on a topic that actually matters, because again, I'm showing you, for at least the black men that are out there that got a problem with me and some of the content that I do, this could be the face of your mother, your daughter, your niece, a female friend, coworker, grandchild. This can be any black woman directly. And this is me being specific now, because I know you're still not going to open your mouth, so it don't matter. This could easily be a reflection of any black woman directly within your family, right? Directly within your family. And this is why I happen to mention and say some of the things that I just so happen to state. And this is why I got the stats directly right there. So just in case, if anybody want to say something, if anybody want to be big and bold, make sure to look at that stat where it talked about the total numbers of persons. And it's telling you 66 had no prior convictions, right? Which means that 66% of them dudes didn't have no type of records, right? Or at least they never been caught, right? 92% were male. And then they tell you the men from every community and the percentages, and for the fact that they are United States citizens. So again, 95% of them were. So again, there needs to be no talk about, oh man, these might be some tethers. These might, nah. This is who was sitting up there doing it. These are the main highest demographics. White, black, Hispanic, main highest demographics in the United States. These are the men who are contributing to human trafficking in their own communities. Again, if you want to sit up there and have a debate directly with me, have a debate on these stats and directly on the story that is directly up there. If not, please shut the fuck up. Kindly shut the fuck up. Because again, a lot of y'all don't want to sit up there and talk when it has to do with important shit where it deals with potentially protecting the women and the kids in y'all family. I'm talking about specifically within your family. Y'all like, oh, it is what it is. Y'all run to the exact same shit. Oh, these women out here say they say they independent and all this other all right. So then if your mother gets kidnapped, what you gonna say then? You gonna be on the news crying like everybody else, or you gonna be online talking about, well, she said she was an independent woman. She said she didn't need a man. She said, nah, you gonna be sitting up there crying. You gonna be sitting up there asking people for any type of information. If they seen her, if they had contact, you're going to be just like everybody else, boo-hoo crying. Supposed to be the strongest one out here. You're going to be boo-hoo crying. All them muscles, all them guns ain't sit up there and mean nothing once one of the women in your family get kidnapped. Who you going to go after? Who? You don't got nobody. It's faceless. Just like the war on terrorism, remember? The war on terrorism, it was a faceless war, but they told you that we had an enemy, right? You literally have men of every community being a part of this trafficking. So it don't matter what guns you got. It don't matter what armaments you got. It don't matter how strong. It don't matter if you can lift, 15 tons. You can bench press that. How is that going to sit up there and alleviate the human trafficking that's going on? It ain't. But like I said, y'all want to have that conversation. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. You don't want to talk about it, which is crazy. Y'all wonder why it is. Like I said, I do my best. And I try so hard to sit up there and speak for the brothers out here. I really do. Because I've been through certain things myself. And I really try to advocate and speak for brothers out here. But when y'all start sitting up there talking a lot of the nonsense that y'all be talking, and then I bring up issues like this, and I expect y'all, if y'all want to, talk like that on that, all right, fine. I expect y'all, like I told you before, keep that same energy. Because at least when I sit up there and do a lot of these live streams and these videos, I pretty much try to stay current and keep with the same energy that I put out. Regardless on how it is that I feel or what's going on in my life, I try to at least keep that same energy. Obviously, y'all don't know what that is. And that's crazy. It's crazy. It makes no sense to boast online how big and how strong you are, how you can protect yourself, how you got guns, and you can't sit up there and even protect the smallest ones in your family. That don't make no sense. What's the use? And then on top of that, you can't even really protect yourselves, right? Because it's stated before within the statistics that I gave off that even men can get trafficked and forced to traffic other human beings. So again, all of that brawn, all of those armaments, all of those guns, it don't matter. It don't matter. You just as weak as the women that you sit up there and talk about. Let's talk about that one. The strongest of the strongest out here getting trafficked. How? How? Tell me that. How? You're supposed to be Superman. You're supposed to be the Sentry. You're supposed to be Batman. You're supposed to be able to fight Doomsday, God himself. But you got these dudes out here being able to traffic you. And you decide that you want to sit up here and boast online, and you want to sit up there and talk and feel some type of way about women every single podcast, every single video. But you out here getting trafficked. All right. That's where we at. Like I said, I'm waiting for some of the ones in the back. I'm waiting for y'all to actually pipe up and start talking. I got 61 people on the old channel. I know for damn sure some of y'all sitting in the background right now. Why y'all not saying nothing? I got 22 on the second channel, and I know some of y'all sitting there. Why y'all not saying nothing? Why y'all not saying nothing? Because before y'all wanted to sit up there and try to call me out on some other shit, but now when I'm doing a live stream right now, and I'm calling y'all out to sit up there and have a conversation about this, to have y'all talk big and bad like y'all normally do, y'all not saying nothing. Why is that? That's crazy to me. That's 1,000% crazy to me. Like I said, at the end of the day, the main thing that I've understood is that a lot of men out here only specifically care about themselves. That's it. They only specifically care about themselves. So if anything basically happens to them, I guess that's basically on them because they made that choice, right? Just like the same thing that men always say about women, correct? Well, woman made that choice, then it's on her, right? I've sat up there and said the exact same thing too, correct? But the difference is I've said it to both sexes. I've said it both to men and women. And I've also sat up there and stated my own instances where I've made wrong decisions. And I was like, well, that was on me. I can't sit up there and blame nobody else for it. I was the main cause. Would have made better choices then. Hey, it is what it is, right? So I just wanted to list that just in case somebody felt ballsy enough to want to try to call me out and say that I'm a hypocrite. Like I said, I've pointed out pretty much everything, both ways, including throwing my own hat directly into those situations. So again, you can miss me with the bullshit and stay directly on the topic. Like I said, for the women out there, hopefully, this information will be able to, reach you. It'll be able to reach, the women in your family. It'll reach, your kids or, the ones that you deem important. Because this is information. A lot of y'all got daughters out there who live directly on their own. They don't got, a boyfriend or a husband or whatever it is. And stuff happens, right? And there's other videos out there, even with a boyfriend or a husband there, stuff will still happen. They'll just make sure to assess the situation and take out the biggest threat and then leave you, right? So irregardless on how it basically goes, there are dangers that are still present, and we have to basically acknowledge that. So this is why I've, also done my best to try to advocate, like, hey, for the women out there, go out there and get your license to carry. Go out there and learn self-defense. Right? These are the reasons, irregardless of the comments that I've gotten from guys that got angry or mad because I wanted to advocate for black women and women to get their license to carry in self-defense. These are the reasons. Stories like this that you see directly in front of you, stories like this are the reason why I advocate for that. Why I did my best to try to push for that, because I know specifically what it is that is out there, because I go by these, I see these stories consistently every single day. The stories that remain untouched, the stories that people don't want to talk about, the stories that people don't want to highlight. I see this every single day. And the only thing that I can sit up there and hope is that it doesn't end up being you. It doesn't end up being somebody in your family. But anyways, I'm going to let y'all have at it, I guess. We got about a good 59 in here from the original platform. Much love and appreciation, and you know, shout out to y'all. We got about 26 from the second platform. Much love and appreciation, and shout out to y'all. And again, if any one of y'all, if you feel like you could or that you would like to, check out some of the links that are presented directly in front of you, or some of the links that are underneath the video description. If you like content like this, if you like live streams like this, information like this, um, please, donate to the platform, because it will help. It will, 100% help, and it will allow me to keep, um, you know, doing live streams, like this, or trying to bring out informative videos, to try to make people aware of information that they should be made aware of, that realistically mainstream media is not going to throw this up 24/7, 48 hours, 72 hours in rotation in order to inform, the women and children, and so on and so on. Um, like I said, I'm just trying to. Uh, Clark Benton said, "How do you get out of something like that?" Um, that's one of the toughest things, because there is realistically no correct way. There's no real book on how to get away. Some people who have gotten away, they've been blessed, they've been lucky, because in a lot of the instances and a lot of the stories that I've heard, the traffickers were able to catch up with said individual and pull them right back in. Right. So again, there is no correct way. The police, the FBI, whoever, they can't give you a 100% out, a 100% way in order to get out. The only thing that I've been able to do is try to get some of the videos that I've seen online, and I've tried to compile those videos, so that people can see, or notice, certain types of things, right? Um, and the funniest thing is, even talking about this, is that I had a conversation with my mom, right? And I remembered at a point in time when there was a car that was, rented. Thinking back, there was like a zip tie that was on one of the windshield wipers. And of course, during that time, I didn't know anything about, human trafficking like that. I wasn't even doing, YouTube, or, trying to really focus on, stories or anything like that. I think this was back when I was in high school. And I really didn't think anything of it or anything like that. I think once I noticed it, and, she was home or whatever, I think I got some scissors and I just, cut it off, not really knowing. what that innocence indicated. Now it's like when I look at it, all of these years, um, it's crazy because very easily that could have been my mom, right? Again, this is coming from thinking back to my memories of being a teenager and not knowing any of the information, not being made aware, right? Not being conditioned to basically observe and to understand and and different things of that nature. There was a variety of things that my mom has told me over the years, and then when I sit up there and actually look at the stuff that I've been covering, it's like, wow, these have been some very close calls. So again, this is why I do the stories that I do, because they hit close to home for me. Because very easily, you know, that could have been my mom a while ago. That very easily could have, potentially been my mom, which means that could have potentially been somebody else's mother out there. That could have been somebody's sister, somebody's aunt, somebody's guardian directly out there that they would never ever see ever again. And they wouldn't know and wouldn't understand because there's no type of real information out there readily accessible that people don't have to dig for and dig for and dig for, where they can just learn, where they can see the visual, like cues. If they see something, directly attached to a car, underneath a car handle, something near a car, or some guys walking by, or whatever it is. Like I said, and I keep trying to tell people, people are not going to understand and people are not going to care up until it actually hits home. In the moment in time when that happens, it's already too late. So, like I said, some of the women out here, they're very blessed and lucky to be able to make it. My mom, she is one of those women. Maybe, those guys were not that active, or maybe they noticed that, all right, she has a son, or, there are other men, like basically here, we're not going to sit up there and do this. We're going to pick a different target. Either which way it basically worked, it's a blessing that my mom is here. And I'm happy every single day that my mom is here. Again, I, for me, I don't want these types of things or incidences to happen to somebody else's family out there. I don't. I don't want somebody to have to potentially plan a makeshift funeral because they don't have the body or the remains of that loved one, because they don't know where they are, and they've been holding out hope for 5 to 10 years, and then they've just given up hope to try to just give themselves a little bit of peace, a little bit of ease, a little bit of rest, because the police, they're not going to really be able to help, because as they set up there and told you in this story, this woman was brought from Florida. She was brought from Florida into a whole nother state in order to be trafficked. So again, for the woman out there, just be careful. Just be, very careful. Be vigilant. Uh, pay attention to your surroundings. Don't spend so much time on your cell phone. Get off of, if you're out, get, like, yo, if you gonna be on something, like, yo, you might, fine, listen to some music, at least like you're looking around. Don't have your head buried in a cell phone and you're walking through a crowd, because that might be the last crowd that you ever walk through. Because like I said before, there are some some things out here, um just in case, for a lot of women out there, look up something. It should be called devil's breath. Look that up. Just humor me. Just look that up directly on your phone, and you'll understand how easy and readily accessible some of these things are that they can use in order to get control of a person, in order to literally coerce a person, in order to make a person do what it is that they want them to do. And it doesn't take a lot. And again, you can just bump directly into somebody a certain type of way and not even really touch them. They got you. Like I said, I understand that, when dealing with topics like this, it's a lot of information. And the main thing that, I tell people is to just take your time. Don't feel like you have to, do like a full-fledged college exam in a sense. Take your time to, understand the information so that it is concrete, so that it's not fluid, right? So that you have a nice base to basically deal with when it comes to this information. So that when you go outside, I promise you, when you get this information and you start to understand the information and everything that is going on, you're going to step outside every day looking at things differently versus what you did the previous day. You're going to be able to notice some stuff. Your senses are going to be telling you like, yo, this something ain't right. Maybe we shouldn't sit up there and go here. That car is looking a little bit. Now again, some people might say that you might be just paranoid. But when it comes to stuff like this, when it's human trafficking, I would rather somebody in a sense be paranoid than to be too relaxed and believe that it's just not going to happen. Because again, you're going to have a lot of men out here that are just going to think that this is really just only a thing dealing with women and children. And there are numbers out there showcasing that, yes, they specifically go after what is considered the weaker bunch when dealing with trafficking. But they will also get men to do this. And you have men that'll do it willingly, or you have other men that will do it by force. And don't also get it twisted. You also got men that are trapped into sex slavery as well. Don't be confused and think that men can't be sex slaves, because there are men out here. You just don't know about it because it's not something that's readily talked about. Because a lot of men aren't going to go to the police and be like, oh, well, I've been in this and I've been in that, because out of the fear of being deemed not strong enough. There's always that fear of how it is that that presentation will give off to other people. So in order for a lot of men not to be deemed as weak, as be deemed as inferior, they're not going to talk about it so that they can keep that one thing which is most important to a lot of men, which is the appearance of strength. So again, I don't want men out here to be confused and think that it cannot happen to you, because it can. Either which way, either by you being one of these sex slaves or by being a human trafficker, either which way, it can happen to you. So, uh, yo, Mark, what is up? What is up? Mark said, I've seen a documentary on Devil's Breath. It's scary. Yeah, and it grows naturally. And that's the craziest part about that. It grows naturally. If somebody can correct me if I was wrong, if I'm wrong, but there's a place in South America where they have a tree that naturally grows this, right? And it's in the community, it naturally grows it. And people make sure to stay away from that tree. So that should tell you something. People are staying away from that tree. That's how potent, that's how dangerous that is. The most smallest minute bit of that, once it goes into your system, you're already compromised. Somebody can go directly up to you like, all right, hey, let me get your bank account and your social security. And once they ask you, it's like, okay, here you go. That's it. If people think that it's a game, I promise you, go look up a video, go look up documentaries, go read directly up on Devil's Breath. It is not a game, it is not a joke. And that's just one of the many different types of things out there that people can use. That the greater majority of the public, 90, probably 98% of the public, are unaware of. Right? Watch. Hack, look it up. Look up Devil's Breath. And you'll see exactly what it is. Look it up. Yo, what's up, James? Said in Africa it's called the zombie drug. I've seen the zombie drug. Well, I'm sorry. I don't. Maybe I didn't see this. I saw a crocodile. I'm sorry. Incorrect. The uh, the drug that you're talking about, I'll probably look that up a little bit later. You said it was called the zombie drug, but the one in Africa that I know of that is a mixture of, I think it was like HIV medication, um, rat, um, what is that? What is the stuff to basically take out rats? The you know, the rat pills that they have, like the raid or whatever it is that they have, and you know the rats basically eat it, and you know they're gone. It's a mixture of HIV medication, that with something else. It's like 3 to 4 different things that makes crocodile, which is a type of drug um, that is found in certain areas in Africa. And that drug is not in the same vein as like it's devil's breath, but it's ultra addicting. And it basically it rots away at the person. So the sites at which the person injects that drug, it'll start to rot away. It'll start to have like a necrosis type of effect on the body, because and then your skin will start to have a crocodile like you know, appearance. Um, Yo, Tia, what is up? What is up? Tia says science is important to us, but we have been compromised with this horrible school system. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Miss Williams, what is up? What is up? What is up? Good afternoon. Mark said club drugs will do. G, J, B, Mama, and etc. MD, MA. Hey, you know, like I said, you know, I don't know anything about the club scene. I've watched a lot of Vice. This is the other thing I'll tell people. If you want to know about certain things, look up Vice documentaries. They've covered human trafficking. Um, they've covered a variety of different rings. They've covered, you know, drug rings and different things and stings. Like I said, I can't speak for some of the things that Vice has, in a sense, covered that weren't the real journalistic, you know, type of things that I was used to. But Vice is starting to kick back to what they used to be, where they had that journalistic type of, you know, integrity, where they would actually do documentaries on things that will really educate, things that would really matter. So, you know, that's one avenue that you could look at if you want to learn about any of these things and further educate, you know, yourself on these things as well: sex slavery, human trafficking, a lot of these narcotics or whatnot directly out here that people use to do a variety of things, right? um Tia said this is a must rewatch, wishing I caught it from the beginning. You know, again, what I'll try to do is that I will do my best to, you know, do more lives where there's, you know, a lot more important, you know, information that I can provide to people, you know, to make people aware of, you know, certain things that are, you know, specifically happening and going on. Because it's a little bit tough to do in videos because, you know, like I told you guys before, um, I could put things in a video format and then YouTube will give the notification that you see on the left side to me, which is like, oops, something went wrong, which means that the video is not really getting, you know, pushed out to you guys the way that it, you know, realistically should. Um, you know, at this moment in time, what do we got? We got about 172 people that potentially watched the video. So, you know, and we got close to about 30K directly on the platform. So you can do the numbers on that and see how, you know, it doesn't, you know, make sense. You know. What else we got up here? I think I shouted out everybody. I'm just trying to make sure I got everybody's name. We got Shaw. Wait, hold on. We got Miss Williams said, "Thanks, Seji, for this major information. Much love, respect, and appreciation." Um, you know, I'm as long as you're able to find something of, worth directly from this live stream or this information, that's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that, um, I care about, because, hopefully this information might end up saving, somebody's life, from a potential incidences of being human trafficked. Shaw said, "Do you think police officers have the power to stop human trafficking properly?" Properly. Um, I will state that in a lot of these instances dealing with human trafficking, you have a lot of the organizations who are supposed to stop it. They are also integrated with the human trafficking. That also means the government as well. Because in order for them to set up to let's say if the government was trying to set up a sting in order to catch human traffickers, you have to have bait. And when it deals with the government wanting to do these things, they let this go on for a certain amount of time. So they're going to have some people out there that will be trafficked. Right now, some of them they might lose and some of them they might not, but you will have some people out there that will be trafficked by way of the government because they're trying to set up this thing or whatnot, or what have you. But even beyond that, you have other parts of the system that are very much a part of this trafficking. They make the money directly off of this hand over foot. You got people that are within the legal system that make money off of trafficking. You got judges and lawyers. You got doctors and nurses. You got EMS workers, literally. So the other thing that I want people to understand is that it's not just the ordinary person that you're looking at as being compromised in this situation. You have the people that have a type of position and a power that are also doing this as well because they're getting kickbacks, they're getting money. Because remember, doctors have all your information. They know exactly where you live. They know your previous residences as well. They know your next of kin as well. You'll also have people that are within the school system. Think about that. You got people that know the information of your children. They'll kick that over to somebody else in order to receive some type of funds, right? You got nurses. How many stories have we heard throughout the years of nurses abducting babies and children? Lots. Lots. You got police that have also abducted women, that have coerced them into compromising situations. They trade their, I've covered stories like this where the cops will be like, all right, well, I could arrest you for this, but, if you do a little bit of something for me, we'll just call it square. I've covered stories like that where cops will sit up there and coerce women who are on the street, who don't nobody care about, nobody trying to protect, nobody trying to look out for. They will coerce these women all the time while they're on the job, while they're in uniform, in order to get something directly out of them. Like I said, any industry that you can think of, they have some type of hand or finger directly, directly involved or on the pulse of human trafficking. And then again, you got to deal with the hotels. And that's specifically why I wanted to put this story directly up here to let people know that you have a lot of these hotels that are specifically in this. I've given you guys video before where it was two black women that were talking to the cops because not once but twice you had men come directly to their rooms knowing them by name, but not knowing who was who, but knowing them by name and trying to look for a specific woman. Those were traffickers. The hotels be directly in on it. And I'm looking at the two cops, and then I'm looking at the two guys behind the counter. I'm like, oh, y'all must be in on it too. Because I didn't really see a reaction from the cops. And then I didn't really see a sense of urgency from the two guys that were behind the hotel counter. That right there, the only people that was given a reaction where it was like, yo, this is like something is really up, were the two women. All four of the men that were there did not have a reaction of something must be done. We got to do something now. That should tell you everything that you need to know. So, again, this is why I put out these videos. This is why I put out this information. This is why I wanted to do this live stream because, you know, like I said, when I went over the the initial video, the information was bothering me. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just do a live stream to see if maybe I could reach um, a little bit more people than what I might be able to reach directly when it deals with the video. So this is, this is why you got the live stream right now. But that was all to answer uh, Shaw's question. I don't really think that the police can properly do it because the police are compromised in a multitude of ways. Yeah, you got some good ones out there, but how many good ones do you have amongst the bad ones? Nobody has still to this day can give me an actual stat or a number on that. All anybody says like, oh well, you can't let a few bad apples basically, cover the good ones. It's like, nah, yeah, you can. Because if we want to be real, apples have a very thin. An apple is not like an orange. And an orange has a very tough layer of skin that mold has to sit up there and work through. An apple, you can literally bruise an apple just by touching it. That's how sensitive it is. So just imagine when you have one apple amongst 12 that is now, starting to deteriorate or now it starts to have mold. Any apple that's touching it, any apple within that area pretty much has that mold. And if you can't see that mold, it just didn't start to progress yet. So basically, yeah, everything is compromised. If we're really going to make that comparison, the one bad apple sport, yeah, the whole bunch is cut it all off, throw it all in the trash, every single bit, throw it all in the trash, grow a whole brand new tree, and wait for those apples to basically come through, because at least you know that those aren't compromised, right? Yo, Kid Gravity, what is up? What is up? What is up? What's up? What's going on? So you said Georgia? Ah man, yeah, Georgia. That's it's tough. I've seen quite a few stories dealing with trafficking in Georgia. Quite a few stories. Like I said, it's bad. It is. It is bad. You know. Um, Miss Williams said I tried to share this and YouTube won't let me share. Are you talking about Miss Williams? Are you talking about the video that I released or the live stream? Because you know what, I would not be too shocked if YouTube is like, yeah, we're not gonna let you share this. And like I told y'all before, these are some of the things that I deal with as well, where I've had instances where you guys have told me specifically um, that hey, um, you're doing this live stream or whatnot, whatever, and we seemingly can't, share the live stream or share the information or whatnot or whatever. Um, again, this is how tough it is. That's how tough it is to get out, some of this information. Shout out to the 238 people who have watched or come through to this live stream. That this number has already topped uh, the amount that has seen the video that I released, and this is why I did the live stream. This basically proves the point of what it is that I was stating to you guys earlier about certain content not being pushed specifically, by YouTube. Like I said, y'all basically, and I didn't even, read off the information that I had from the 20 states, specifically in this. I actually went a little bit more in depth, sort of, in this live stream than I did specifically in that video. So, again, shout out to the now 240, uh, you know, people that have come by and viewed this live stream on SEIJIHITO, the second coming. Um, What else we got here? Uh, T Queen V, what is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Mills Lane. Oh, that reminds me of Judge Mills Lane. Lane said, I mentioned you contacting Alex Jones and going to his show. Why was it deleted? Um, uh, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. Um, like I said, I've seen some of the stuff that um he's done as well. I've watched a lot of his stuff from the previous. I'm talking about like back. I'm talking about like 2012, 13, 14, 15, and and whatnot. Before he was as large. I mean, he's always had a large platform, but before he was like where he is, in a sense now, and he's covered a lot of stuff too. Like I said, some people can disagree with certain things or whatnot or whatever. But the only thing I tell people is to look up certain information versus trying to throw people off and call them directly crazy on what it is that they are specifically talking about. Miss Williams said DCFS is part of them. I know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of these entities that are part of human trafficking. There's a lot of them. Like I said, there is no area that is in a sense realistically safe. Somehow, some way, pretty much everything has been compromised. There are very little safe places for a lot of people, and especially including a lot of these kids. Um, we got Prince out here. What is up? What is up? Prince said, "Thank you, brother, for this content. Much love, respect, and appreciation." Again, like I said, I'm happy that some people are able to, get, some type of information specifically from this. Uh, Ms. Williams said, a shame of all these entities that are involved in this. Yeah, it is. It is. But, like I said, a lot of people would do anything for money. And that's what it boils down. And the funniest thing is when I've talked about human trafficking, I've also talked about and mentioned the black market as well. And you know, if you don't know about the black market, that's where people will go to, deal with harvesting of organs and different things. Like I said, it gets real deep. It gets very very deep, and it gets even deeper if you happen to know anything about the dark web. Like I said, at one point in time earlier on in YouTube, about like the first, I want to say maybe the first year, I thought about doing actual video on that, and then I was like, nah, I can't do that. Because a lot of the things that I was able to see, a lot of things that I was able to find, um, you, I know for sure that video would have been taken down. I can tell you with 100% certainty, all of the things that I was able to see, um, that video would have got taken down. But the channel more than likely would have actually got taken down, just off of that video by itself. But yeah, it's bad. It is, it's pretty bad. Um, Hack said, get YouTube downloader and you can download the videos. Yep, yep. So you might have to do it directly after the live stream. I'm not sure if you're really trying to download the whole live stream, but that is one way that you can just so happen to do it. If they're not allowing you to, share and pass around the link to the live stream, you can do that. You can just, happen to download it, and I guess you can, chop up the live stream into, the parts that, you want to send out to people, and put those together, and then, send it. Hopefully, it's not going to be too much, because I think, what is this live stream, about like an hour and 40 minutes? That might be about a gig or so, depending on if you compress it. Even if you compress it, that might be a nice few hundred gigs, so that might be a very large file size. So you might have to Dropbox it, or something of that nature, in order to get it to people. Again, I'm trying to I'm trying to in my mind, I'm trying to go through a variety of ways to do it, because I remember some of the things that I've had to do in order to get videos, because I've had videos up here that I favorited, or that I had that were attached to a list, and magically when I go back through that list, YouTube was like, "Oh, we've deleted that video." I'm like, "Wait, wait, wait, wait. So you deleted this informative video for what reason?" They were just like, "Oh, this video can't be found. This video has been deleted." So, just to let you know, that's the type of stuff that, just so happens, to take place. Uh, we got Officer Haku in the building. So it was good. Just got out of physical therapy. What we talk. Basically, the topic is human trafficking. It is a just a serious, about an hour and 40 minute, long, live stream about, human trafficking, trying to inform people, um, about, different statistics. Released a video going over the top 20 states, dealing with, human trafficking, as well, and just trying to make people as aware as possible, so that the things that I go over don't specifically, you know, take place and happen, and to also inform, of course, a lot of men out here that human trafficking is not just happening to, just the women and the children, but it's also happening to men as well. Either them being thrown into the whole the sex trade, or by way of making them traffickers by way of coercion or threats upon their families, and and different things of that nature. Prince said, "Do not put donor on your ID or your driver's license." Yeah, yep. If I remember correctly, that's been something that's been stated for quite some time, and I've stated that as well. But that was dealing with some of the other videos that I've done, where we've talked about um, the loss of life that takes place in the black communities. And the reason why I listed that is because a lot of people don't also want to think about the fact that, along with, of course, you might have some crime and some gang activity there, you have individuals that will wear Hollywood masks, that are lifelike, and they will pick the darker complected ones that look black, that look just like a black man or whatnot, and they'll go by neighborhoods and they will commit drive-bys. Right? They will go by these areas that have problems with other people, and they'll go through and spray up the scene in order to get the bodies that they need in order to harvest organs. So again, I've tried to put out a multitude of different videos out there to try to make people aware, and to try to make people think directly outside of the box, versus the narratives and the things that the media specifically gives to you. Because again, when any of these young black men die, nobody knows what happens to the organs. Nobody's there at the morgue. Nobody's there watching the morticians in what it is that they're doing with the organs, and so on and so on and so on. Like I said, I've covered a story with a Caucasian woman who was charged in the fact of selling organs. So again, there's barely a area out here that is safe from a type of trafficking that deals with human beings. Like I said, it's tough. It's tough to try to keep everybody up. Um, Zan said, "Where is your family from?" I'm trying to figure out. Would you happen to be the exact same person that was trying to see if I was American or not? Because the most interesting part about it is that dealing with, and for the mods there, I want you to leave this person there. I don't want y'all to time them out or anything. Leave that person directly there, right? So this person here wanted to ask, where is my family from? Now, note how I stated to you guys earlier, we had this whole live stream has been about human trafficking, a whole hour, 45 minutes. So, out of all of the questions that could potentially be asked about the topic, this person decided that they wanted to shift the narrative to something that has no bearing directly on this topic. So, Zans, let me know, how will knowing where my family is from, how is that going to stop human trafficking? Answer that question. Tell me that. How is you knowing where my family is from, how is that going to stop human trafficking? How is that going to eliminate organ harvesting? And how is that going to shut down the black market? How is that? Because all I'm noticing is that you're just coming through trying to deflect from a serious topic, one of which that I said encompasses everybody. Because again, the most important detail there is 66% of the people that were caught doing this human trafficking had no prior convictions. 95% of them were United States citizens. 92% of them are Caucasian. 63% of them were white. 18% black. 17% Hispanic. So I'm trying to figure out, why aren't you trying to ask a question or debate about those numbers? Why aren't you trying to give me a solution on how it is that the men of all of these communities could start stepping up and standing up in order to stop and hinder the amount of human trafficking that is going on, that is happening to the children and to the women? But you're more worried about where it is that my family is from, which again has no bearing on the very important information that everybody could use, and how this information could potentially save somebody's life. But you're more worried about where it is that my family is from. Again, this is what a distraction looks like. This is what that looks like. Somebody that will come directly up to a very important topic, and they'll decide to switch up and shift the narrative to something else that has nothing to do with nothing. Like I said, this is that's automatically what that looks like. That's what it looks like. Shout out to TJ. What is up? What is up? What is up? Uh, James said the black woman that escaped a I think what, serial killer in Missouri. The police ignored the cries from the community. Organ harvesting is real. Yeah, it is. It is. Yep. Gamer, yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is happening? Sunkissed, what is happening? Good afternoon. Organ trafficking is real. Yep. Arthur Phoenix, good afternoon, said like number 69. Uh, Prince said that's right. Tia said I never put that on my ID. In fact, I'm getting rid of all corporate ties. All right. All right. Uh, Let me see. Chef Grady likes to expose this. I mean, that's good. If he's one of the cops that is actually doing it, that is great. Much power to him, and hopefully he has some people that will look out, um, look out for him. Gamer said, "This is why I never donate my organs to science." Miss me with that BS. Yep. Officer Haku said, "Have a show about to what? Wait, Mad have a show about to give the good old John Claude Van Damme boot." Wait, I'm lost on that one. So I'm lost on that. He's probably using like text to voice. I mean, voice to text. Mr. Rand said I was going to uh, pop that person said you. They always coming and off the subject, shaking my head. Arthur said, "That's a good observation." Said, "A good question." Tia said, "Oh, that was Mr. Rand." Gamer said, "It's one thing to ask him where he's from, but it gets real sus to ask him where his family is from." Prince said, "Can we ban him now?" Said you. I mean, y'all can do it. I mean, didn't answer. Oh, you already did it. Damn. Hack got him. Oh man, Hack did it. I was waiting. I was waiting for a response. I was like, yo, where that response at? Because like I said, y'all well, some of y'all got here a little bit later, but during a one part of the live stream, like probably about close to an hour back, I was looking for some of these people that that normally say a variety of things, and I was looking like, hey, you want to sit up there and debate? So here's a topic. Roll up to the scene and decide to debate. And like I said, a lot of those individuals who were sitting in the background, like and I told y'all earlier, I told y'all, people be on these live streams sitting in the background, be waiting for when it is that they potentially got a leg to stand on or whatnot, and then they want to sit up there and pounce. And that's exactly what Zan did. He thought he had a leg to stand on, and this had zero to do with anything that he was trying to bring up. Um, James said the sheriff runs stings and exposes how women's kids are being held hostage to control the women. That's good. Like I said, he's one of the few that are out there that's doing it. He's one of the few. Because remember, I've showed you guys videos before, even not dealing with the human trafficking aspect. I showed you a man that served in the military overseas, came back home, and still wanted to serve the country. And he did that by way of coming to the police force. And he was trying to get rid of, point out some of the corruption that was there. And he inevitably ended up having a target put directly on his back. So, again, congratulations to, that one sheriff that is out there, but he is one of a few that is willing to put everything on the line in order to do the right thing. A lot of them are not. A lot of the police are compromised. You got a few out there that are decent enough that want to do the right thing, but they are amongst the many that are bad. They have to go up against a giant blue wall in order to try to prevail. And that's the hardest battle that they have to sit up there and do. So it's either you do that uphill battle or you join the thin blue silent line. Like I said, and that's not even touching on the aspect of what women have to go through while being on the force. Like I said, I can go on for days on a lot of the different things that I have covered that I know some of those videos have not really gotten the light of day, that people don't want to try to have a debate or a conversation specifically about, because there's nothing to debate. There's nothing to debate. Like I said, the stats are directly to the left of the screen. You see specifically who is doing it out of every single community. You got a story of a woman that was just recently rescued from human trafficking. And like I said, I'm just using that one just as an example because again, going by the stats in general, this is happening in every single community. So I don't want people to get anything twisted. This isn't just to highlight one specific demographic and demonize one demographic. This is talking about the men of all communities because this encompasses all women and all children directly out there. Oh, that's what you were talking about. You say you was about to give him the boot. Okay, now I get it. Now I get it. Now I get it. Mr. Ren said it was a troll ban. Okay, let me start to catch up to y'all comments now. Uh, Mr. Phoenix, what is up? What is up? Said this is the subject that white lamestream media hides and should be out front and center on every so-called politician's they can't be on every politician's platform because again, you have a lot of hands that are directly into um, these things when it deals with the harvesting. Like I said, the government is directly there. The government is there when it deals with drugs. The government is there when it deals with people disappearing. The government is there. The government knows more than anybody else. The government is there, but it's hard to tell people that because a lot of people don't want to pay attention to the signs. People don't want to listen, and they don't want to look at it. Like I said, if you're dealing with the police are a part of the government. They protect not solely the people, but they protect the rich and they protect corporations. They protect businesses. That is their first main priorities to protect. Last is people. Like I said, let something happen to a business. The police, they're there left and right. Let it happen to your house. Oh, we don't have any cars. We don't have anybody on call. It's going to take about 45 to 2 hours for somebody to get there. That's how it normally goes for average everyday people. But let it be a business where something happened. Police are on the scene. Like I said, people got to pay attention to the responses. People got to pay attention. Let somebody rich go disappearing. Oh, you got the government, the FBI, the police. You got everybody out there searching. Let one of your kids sit up there and go missing. Okay, man. What do they look like? What were they wearing? Who were they last around? Okay, well, because you just told us this information and it hasn't been 28 to 48 hours, we can't really do anything. We'll have this information, we'll hold it, and we'll let you know if anything comes up. That's what they do. That's what they do. Like I said, there's a clear cut difference. So if anybody wants to sit up there and try to state that the government ain't in on certain things or know about certain things or are not taking part in certain things, you might want to wake up. You might want to sit up there and wake up and pay attention because they clear cut show you and how it is that they react to rich people going missing and losing to how it is that when you go missing and losing, how it is that they react and what it is that they'll do. Officer Aku said, I'm so glad you told me not to move. Mr. Red said it wasn't me. Uh, Officer Aku said my finger was on the trigger. James said, oh yeah, I read that. Prince said, this stream is giving me comfort just losing. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Oh my God. Yo, Prince, man, I didn't even know. Uh, my condolences. I I had no idea. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss, man. I'm so sorry. Uh Jesus Christ. Oh man. Oh man. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ. Yo, man. Look. Uh, I don't. Uh, I know you technically um don't really know me from you know from Adam, Peter, Paul, or anything like that. If you need somebody to talk to, I can I can listen. Uh, like I said, I couldn't I, I I couldn't even imagine um like I said, man. I'm not trying to. Uh, it's tough to try to uh, put words together, because I know you are probably going through a tough process um, right now, and I'm not even really trying to stay directly on it, and again, if you need somebody to talk to, um, I got you. I can listen. So you can hit me up on on IG, and you can drop your number and whatnot, and I will I hit you up. You know, because I know technically a while ago we were supposed to sit up there and talk about like crypto and and everything like that. We sent messages back and forth. Um, Man, like I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I wish I would have known. Like I said, you got support out here. Um, even though a lot of people don't know you, you got some people sitting in their love and support your way directly to you, and your family. Um, Man, like I said, I can check in on you, make sure you're doing okay. Uh, Damn. Like I said, I hate um, anybody having to go through anything like this, like anything that's that's so tough like this. Um, so what I'm gonna do is let me just look at go to IG real quick. I gotta sit up there and technically get myself right. So brother, if you are, still listening to this stream, hit me up on IG. Drop your uh, like your number or whatnot, or maybe it could just be like an IG call or something, and I'll just sit up there and and talk to you, and just just in case you need somebody to listen to, or anything like that. Like I said, I love you guys a lot. I value you guys and respect you guys a lot. So that's my way of trying to give back, and give the exact same thing that you guys have given to me, directly on this platform. You guys have seen me at some pretty tough times, and different things of that nature. And you guys have always been there to show some type of love and support, either by way of messages or what have you. So you know that's just me saying I'm here for you, and whenever you feel up for it or anything like that, I can do that. But so what I'm going to do here is that I'm just going to end um the live stream. I'm going to let you guys have at it. Carry on about y'all day. Prepare for work or lunch or uh, what have you. So again, thank you guys. Much love and appreciation to any and all of those who have donated, directly to the platform. Shout out to all of you guys who have come through on the live stream. That's roughly about a good 300 that has showed up on the live stream. Much love, respect, and appreciation to all of you guys. Hopefully, you guys will be able to find something, um, in this live stream that will, be helpful or anything of that nature. Um, so yeah. But yeah, Prince, just hit me up on IG. Just hit me up on there. Miss Johnson said sometimes the I mean I'm not sure. I kind of get what you're saying, Miss Johnson, and I kind of don't. But yeah, I got you, Prince. I got my IG open, so you can however you want to sit up there and do it or whatever. We can sit up there and talk. I'm there for you. But much love to Pink, who is also sending her condolences as well. Um, but I'm going to um, just before we leave, I'm trying to see if I can highlight it. Prince said, thanks to everybody um, who sent their condolences um, out to him. Um, but yeah, we're going to end the live stream. So again, much love, respect, and appreciation to all who were in attendance, and much love and appreciation to those who may catch up to the live stream a little bit later.